What's weird sister?
Why do they talk like that?
How do I find stuff?
What's a Scotsman?
Shakes who?
What is regicide?
Mick, what? Is that some kind of hamburger?
What's this research thing?
What's a database?
Where are the Shakespeare books?
Where's the computer lab?
Gonna win.
What's a scholarly source?
What make that?
So you need to do a research project. Well, you've come to the right place. Step 1, don't panic. Step 2, tell me what it is you're researching. Oh, Shakespeare's Macbeth. Okay, this we can work with. What do you need to do? Okay, you need to use a database source, you need to get to a website source, and you need some print resources. Well, with the help of this video, I hope we can satisfy all of those needs. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's talk a little bit about research itself. Why is it that we do research? Obviously, in this case, it's for your assignment over Shakespeare's Macbeth. But there are many myriad of reasons why we do research. It can be for entertainment purposes. For example, when I was watching the World Series, I would like to check on stats of players, and I could easily pull my cell phone out and check stats on the internet there. And you can also do research for more important things in your life. For example, when my wife's mother got cancer when she was in high school, they did a lot of research into the type of cancer her mother had and the medication that she was going to be going on, and it made the whole process a lot less scary. So beyond the academic and school reasons why we need to do research, it can also help us out a lot in our daily lives. But it's hard to find good information and parse it out from not so good information. Here we have some quotes from Abraham Lincoln. Look pretty legitimate to me. How about this? Last time I checked, Honest Abe wasn't a WWE wrestler, and the internet did not exist in the 1800s. Anybody can post information online. Anybody. So it's important that we filter out the signal from the background noise of the web. How can we do that? One method is trap. Not this kind, though. The T in trap stands for timeliness. Is the information you're looking at up to date? If you're doing a report on computers, for example, would you want information from 1983 or from 2013? Reliability. Is the information from a trustworthy source? Are you finding this out from a scholarly journal or from someone's blog that you have no idea who they are? Authority. Who's the information coming from? Again, a reliable resource or a not so reliable one? Purpose. Is the information you're looking at biased? Is the information trying to sway your thinking? Is it an editorial, or is it more in line with something fact-based, like an encyclopedia article? So after you think about trap and the various ways to find information, it's time to hit the books or the computers or our iPads. And don't forget, don't plagiarize. We will find out. Google's a good place to start, but we're going to be looking at other resources to look for information today. Wikipedia is also an okay place to start out, but anyone can edit Wikipedia, so it may not be our best resource. It's a good place to get some ideas and some general knowledge on some things, but don't take it as rote that what you're looking at is for real. So where can we find stuff? Obviously, our school website has some information through our library system, and we'll be looking at different ways to get to different databases through there. Before we go too far down the research rabbit hole, there's a word I want you to be thinking about, and this word is Boolean. It has a couple of definitions, as you can see. The first is denoting a system of algebraic notation used to represent logical propositions, especially in computing electronics. Forget about that one. We need the second one. A binary variable having two possible values called true and false. Be thinking about binary variables, two possible values when you're doing your search, because a Boolean search is when you're looking for something and something else. So in the case of William Shakespeare, we could do a simple search, let's start with Google here. Okay, very good. We get a whole bunch of websites popping up about William Shakespeare. But let's say we need something more specific, like William Shakespeare and Macbeth. Lo and behold, Dr. Google brings us a listing of websites having to do with Macbeth and William Shakespeare. Let's forget about Google for a moment, though. What I want to show you right now is how to get to an online database to access scholarly journal articles for your research. To do so, you'll need to go to usd409.net. Go to Select a School. We are at the high school. Underneath Academics, we go to Library System. We're looking for Atchison Public Schools. We are at the high school. Next, we click on KSL Databases right here. And it's going to ask you to log in with your state library e-card number and password, which should be your birth date. If you don't know what this is, come down to the library and I can look that up for you. So there's a few sample places we could look for information, but from talking to your teacher, she mainly wants you to utilize Explore Multi-Search. So we click on that. We get logged in. Click on Explore Multi-Search. And now we're ready to go. So, like we did earlier, let's just type in Shakespeare. We get some scholarly journals on William Shakespeare. But we want to look at Shakespeare and Macbeth, so we click on Advanced Search. Shakespeare and Macbeth. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're finding some scholarly journal articles about Macbeth and William Shakespeare. But let's say you've got a specific topic you want to learn about King Duncan in Macbeth. So now we have murder, assassination, Shakespeare, Shakespeare's Macbeth, Macbeth. Not much about King Duncan and Macbeth. So maybe we should simplify our search. We'll take out Shakespeare, add Macbeth. And here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Shakespeare's Macbeth, dialogue, subjects, assassinations, hitman, contract killer. King Duncan of Scotland is murdered by Macbeth. Macbeth, King of Scotland, killed in battle. So, that is an example of a Boolean search. It helps us refine things down. Some website examples for your research on your paper. I've got 3 websites I'm going to talk to you about, and each of these, the addresses for which can be found on the paper version of the Pathfinder. The first one to look at is folger.edu/Macbeth. It has some really great information about the play, as well as some examples of early texts, photos from past productions, as well as resources for students and teachers. Not only does it cover Macbeth, but it also covers Shakespeare himself in all of his plays. The next website is Open Source Shakespeare. It's a really fun website that breaks down the play by acts and characters, and each of the scenes and acts and characters are hyperlinked for more information about each one. The third website is Absolute Shakespeare. This provides trivia, summaries, quotes, and basic information about all of Shakespeare's plays. And here's the one specifically for Macbeth. Now, to find print resources, we can start at the school library, and we can look for William Shakespeare. And this will show us every book about William Shakespeare that we have in our library. and we'll let you know if it's available or not. If there's something you want to find that our school library does not have, you can also search Atchison Public Library, which is part of a network for Northeast Kansas. Every library within the region is part of this network, so if Atchison Public does not have it, chances are one of the other libraries in the system you just made. Do a quick search for Shakespeare and Macbeth. See what we can come up with. Plays and sonnets, William Shakespeare's Macbeth, tragedy of Macbeth, sound recordings, and all sorts of fun stuff. These materials can be placed on hold in the school library, and we get them within usually about a week, and I'll notify you via email when your book has arrived. Well, if you have any more questions, guys, feel free to stop by the library, and I can go into more detail in person on each of the things we talked about today. Thanks. Happy hunting.